Hello my loves, this video is a collaboration with the amazingly talented Lorraine from Lorraine Those Nails. I'm going to link her channel below. She asked me if I'd collaborate, of course I will. So what we decided was we were going to pick a design that the other person had done and recreate it. I knew straight away which one I was going to do. I don't think I've made it look quite as graceful as Lorraine did when she did it because I was, do you know what? You can just see it all unravel. Let's just go for it. I'm using my flexi hand. This is Felicia's cousin Felicity. She's one of the darkest skin tones. I can't remember which number it is. And I've put my flexi tips in from Glitter Planet. And then I'm applying the Glitter Planet Easy Tips, the stiletto ones. They just go straight on. You don't need to prep anything. So you just slide the flexi tip up and then you just stick whatever you want, whatever tip you want on the end of that. And you're good to go. I shape them slightly, but. So yeah, I was really happy that Lorraine asked me to collaborate. I think that's awesome. If anyone else wants to do anything, give me a shout. I think it's all good. It's all good to get inspiration from others. So yeah, just sticking them on. I'm using my Angel Crystals adhesive. Now I think it was -3 last night, and my salon is at the end of my garden. It's like a wooden cabin, and it doesn't have central heating. It has a little electric heater that I put on when I go in there. So everything was frozen, including my cuticle oil. I'm just showing you my Nailmate steel file. This isn't a new one. This is the one I've had for absolutely ages. When I take the strips off, I just clean it down with a bit of acetone to remove any sticky bits. And then I apply new strips. I wanted to show you how easy it is because when students come to me, they're often like, oh my God, I didn't realise it was that easy. Oh, I'll get one of them. So I thought I'd show you guys. I put 100 grit on one side. I put 180 grit on the other side. It's so quick and easy. And it's very sanitary because you can clean the steel file. Just peel off the back and you've got a new filing board. And they're really sharp and really good. So please still score the edges because you will catch them. I've torn up my Felicia flexi hand is dead. She's gone. She's ripped to shreds. And I gave my spare ones to my students because I love them. So I'm just shaping the edges there because obviously things don't always fit 100%. Tips can sometimes be a little bit wider than the client's nail, which is what you would rather than have it too short or too narrow. You don't want to squash the tip on. You want it to fit comfortably and then just make the adjustments, which I've done. And then I'll go in with my Canvalite 100-180 grit file. This is available from Amazon. The link to my Amazon affiliate page is always in my description, as is links to all my other bits and bobs. I've used these files for years. So yeah, I just don't want to change because I'm comfortable with them. I think you can get 10 for a £5 or 10 for £5.99, something like that. But they're really, really good. And wow, I'm comfortable with them, so I don't want to change. So I'm just literally taking down that join line a little bit. And then I'm just going to put some isopropyl alcohol on my firm bristled brush and remove the dust from the fingers. These flexi hands, any silicone hand, they attract dust like a magnet. Now look at my brush. Just look at it. I could have died. It's a bit dramatic. I think I must have had a little bit of acrylic left in my brush and I didn't realise. In all fairness, this brush has been through students using it, everyone having a go. And I think I must have left a little bit of acrylic in there and it's frozen where it's been so cold. So after doing a couple of just the clear beds, I realised that my Bestie brush has to go and I wanted to sob my heart out because I've got a really busy week and that is my favourite brush. I do still have my Kylie Werry size 12, but that also is hanging on by a thread. So I've literally got no acrylic brush that's in really good working order. And I've got student in this week and I've got clients. So I'm going to have to place an order sharpish and pray for good postage. because I am up the creek without a paddle. I think I'm going to have to get myself some spares because this is not a nice feeling. I suddenly feel really vulnerable. Right, so I've laid Nail Mates Crystal Clear down. I'm now going in with Valentino Prettiest Pink. And I'm just going to do, now as you see, I laid a dry bead down, but that's moving. It was so cold that when I came back in from the salon, my feet hurt. And I had my heating on for 3.5 hours before going in there. So goodness knows what we're going to do if it doesn't warm up. But basically, I am doing a swooshy nail bed. Now, I think I've done this once before. It's not something I do regularly. However, it works the same as any colour block or any nail bed. You make the shape that you want with a relatively dry bead. Hopefully yours will be a lot warmer than mine and easier to control. And then you just use your brush to nudge it into place and get it where you want it. And if you're in a situation like me where your salon is very, very cold and your product is cold and you're chasing it, work extra dry and just know you are going to have to chase it a little bit. So maybe use a smaller brush, maybe have a 3D brush on hold just next to you so you can kind of work it without the risk of putting too much monomer back into that bead. But just know it will happen if your product is really cold. It's kind of inevitable. The reaction is slowed down. And also it will happen if you have too much liquid in your brush. But it's okay. It's just a little bit annoying, and at the time it's a little. Gets your adrenaline going a little bit. You start thinking, "Ooh, quick!" But it's all right. It's all right. We got there. Like I said, Lorraine did it, made it look easy. I do it, make it look ridiculously hard. It's not ridiculously hard. Now I've switched to my other brush because I just couldn't with that brush. I've ruined it. It's deaded. Between me and everyone else, we've all just had a hand in trashing that brush. So I'm back to my other brush, and was glad to have her by my side. So this is the Kylie Wary size 12. It's got the rainbow glittery handle, and she saved me. Even though, to be honest, this brush has seen better days. Again, I've let people use it, and I know people are probably going, "Oh God, don't let anyone else use your brush," but I like to share my stuff and say, "Oh, have a go," you know? So I'm going to keep some spares for that, I think. So after me nattering on, I've eventually nudged that into some sort of shape that I like. Now, these are the holographic shards, you know, like the micro shards from Glitter Planet. These are the holographic silver ones. Oh my life. I'm doing a full nail. I've never used these. I don't think I've used this particular one actually. I've had them for a while and I've certainly never used them on a full nail. Damn, they are holographic. So I've just picked up a bead of clear. Not too big and not too sloppy, but you want it wet enough that you can kind of let it soak in around that glitter. You're going to pick up some glitter with it. I tend to roll the brush. Although here I've painted it, I'll show you in a bit what I mean by rolling the brush. When you've got a bigger bead with glitter on it, it might be easier to roll it off your brush. It gives you a little bit better, a little bit easier mixing. But I'll show you that in a bit. I do it in a bit. And I'm just going to do a whole nail of this. Because they're micro shards, you want to make sure you're patting them so they lay flat. They lay flat really easily. They don't get bulky. They kind of all just squish into place. And they're super beautiful. Right, on to the next one. This is going to be kind of like an ombre swoosh. So I'm going in again with Prettiest Pink. Now, at the end, which is a shame that I noticed this at the end. At the end, I noticed that this particular nail looked a different colour to the one next to it. And the reason is because I've used less amount of product. So because the flexi tips have a beige colour to them, a nude colour, I've applied a pink cover powder, but on this finger I did it quite watery and not very opaque, and that bit me in the arse because it made the nail bed look a slightly different colour. So just be mindful when you're doing like your practice tips and stuff that they do, you know, with some colours. If it was a super duper intense pigmented nude colour that would be different, but this is more of a natural pinky nude, which is why it's called Prettiest Pink. Hopefully the amount of sheer bling and like glitter on these nails will just make it look so pretty that nobody will care. So I'm just kind of adding enough. I've worked with these quite long, as I've only snipped off the tips, so they're quite nice and long. So I needed more beads than I'd anticipated. But we'll get them into place, and then we're going to work with the sparkle. We'll let that set. On this nail, Lorraine did, again with like the micro shards, just like a fade. So did you see me roll it there? I rolled it off the brush. That's what I did. You might want to rewind. So there, the glitter is dense, so more opaque, more coverage at the cuticle, and then it fades down towards the tip and you get that beautiful ice clear tip. It's really, really effective, especially with shards, because they just look like they're kind of inside resin or something. They look really cool. Oliver's playing, so you might hear him. Then I'm just going to pat some of the little bits of the shards into the wet nail. Don't need to add any more product. Keep it super thin. Okay, onto this one. I'm going to cap this nail in crystal clear. Right, then we're going back in with those gorgeous shards, and we're going to do the kind of swooshy on this nail. See, I rolled it off again. It makes it easier to blend the glitter into the clear for me if I roll it. It's a very handy tip. I actually learnt that from watching Annabelle McGuinness, Glitter Bells. Nails by Annabelle, yeah. It was ages and ages ago, back in the days of glam and glitz. That technique also works well if you've got a product that marbles. Rolling it, it's easier. Okay, so we're just going to take that beautiful holographic micro shards, and we're going to have it more dense, more opaque at the tip of the nail, and then we're going to kind of do a curled swoosh up to the cuticle area that kind of mimics the nail next to it. Then before I do any filing on that colour block nail, I'm going to cap everything. So I'm going to cap this nail and the nail I've just done the swooshy on. And then we'll get to filing in this colour block. Okay, so I've sped this bit up because this is a faff. I'm using the 100 grit side and I'm butting it right up against the shape that I've created, and I'm constantly rocking my file because I'm doing a curved line. If I was doing a straight line, my file would be upright and straight. With this, it's curved, so you need to follow the curvature that you want the shape to look like. Otherwise, you'll kind of end up with a hexagon if you just do loads of straight lines. So keep your file on the move, on the curve all the time. From this angle it looks wonky, it's not. It's just that there was a little bit of product underneath kind of sticking out, but you'll see. Anyway, I've picked up a small bead of that clear, dipped it into the micro shards again, and I'm just patting it around where I want it to go. And I'll I can hear Oliver, it's really hard to concentrate. I'll basically create another swoosh with the micro shards. Then I'll cap that straight away. I then use my brush to shape it, and I don't file it. I just use my brush. And it does work like that. If you just use your brush as a tool, well, it is a tool. You know what I mean. I'll explain it more when we get there.
You make me nervous. I think I might be hooked on you. All of the things you said to me, it seems like you like me too. We can take it slow, make sure we do this right. Canceled all my plans to be with you tonight. So just sit with me, talking to the night until the morning, building chemistry. I don't think I ever wanna go, come closer next to me, trying to find another way to see.
Right, so what I've done is applied the beads quite dry, and I'm really going over and over the same shape, over and over, building up that wall, building up the sharpness of that edge with my brush, because there's no bloody way I am going to get a steel file in there. And I don't particularly use the e-file for things like this. I have seen some nail artists use an e-file bit, even to do like the French. I haven't done that, so I'm not going to sort of demonstrate that because I really haven't tried it and I wouldn't want to bodge it up. But I'm just using my brush and I'm quite happy with that. It came out really nice. Nice smooth line. You go over it, it's fine. Then I'm grabbing a nice dry bead of Valentino Soft Touch, which is like CJP Milky Pink, I guess. Or, yeah, coconut milk, not Milky Pink, coconut milk. And it's really good. It's beautiful for this kind of thing. Works like butter. Because you've got clear mixed in with the white, haven't you, to create that kind of coconut milky colour. So it works a lot easier than a lot of pure whites. And I'm just going to fill that gap and then put it to one side and let it set. Right, I thought I'd demonstrate filing one of the nails because they're all filed the same way. I do sidewall, and free edge. I do it slightly underneath first, as you can see, just to make sure they're level. And then I'll do the free edge, and that's with my 100 grit side. Then I switch files to my Canvalite, and I'm going up and around the cuticle. So up one side, down the other side. Then I'll file through the entire body of the nail, constantly checking it from all angles to make sure we've got a smooth and even surface. Obviously on a client I'd probably have a bigger apex. There isn't really much of a big apex on Felicia's sister. What did I call her? Was it Felicity? I think so. But yeah, I'm just going to make sure it's even, and then I will go back over quickly with my steel file at the end just to get that shape nice and tight.
We never left the ground, but we need to take some weight off our shoulders. The fight isn't over. Can you let me be tonight? I will need some time alone, not forever, but when together. It feels like my spark's been left in the dark sometimes. Cause when I'm with you, it's just like an airwave, better than a band-aid. This could be love, not sure, but I'm probably right. When you're around, I can say what I wanna say. So hard to concentrate. This is all that I need and more. Perfectly safe and sure.
So when they're all filed, I've cleaned all the dust, so they're dust free. Just use a bit of isopropyl alcohol on a lint free wipe. It really does help with your photography at the end and your imagery if they're nice and clean. Then I'm going in with Nail Mate Super Gloss and just watch this come to life. I mean, oh my goodness. It's such a pretty design. I didn't think of it, Lorraine did, so can't take credit for that. Hers was the other way around because she has her hand the other way around, but that's the only difference. Look at that. Do the underneath when you've got a clear tip, it really brings it to life. So we'll gloss all these up. Oh, I love it. I love top coat. It's time to shine. Gorgeous. Hashtag Nail Army for all my Nail Army peeps out there. Haven't done that for a while. Keep forgetting. Nail Army. See, that came to life. Didn't that look gorgeous in the end? Didn't it come out beautifully? Really happy with that. And then we'll do that full pinky nail that's just bursting with holo. Hello, it's me. Sorry, short attention span. Into the lamp for 60 seconds. And here are the finished nails. I hope you've liked it. Thanks to Lorraine for asking me to collaborate. I've had a ton of fun. I will see you in my next video. Tally bye!